lesson here. I think I'm the first one.
Yeah, I couldn't hear you.
Hey,
what did you say?
hey, Courtney. Can you
Hey.
hear me?
Yeah,
How are you?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Are you tired?
Not too tired, but I went to bed pretty early.
Yeah. I
How-
tried to, but we kept getting phone calls.
Oh,
Jan and I talked last night. And then we finally said we got to go to bed because we got to do yoga in the morning.
get up in the morning. Yeah. I always go to bed pretty early.
I tried to. Yesterday it just didn't work out.
Hey, Amy.
Hello.
Hi.
Good morning. Oh, it is so nice outside today.
Oh, that's good. It's still cloudy here.
It's like pretty warm. Let me see. We went on a walk and you didn't need a jacket or a sweater or anything. 52.
Yeah, that's nice. That's about what it is here, I think.
Yeah. Sunny. The fox came back and got his cash.
Oh, okay.
That was so cute.
Yeah, he was big.
Yeah. Eating everybody's yards.
Yeah, Jan and I were talking about how tired we were last weekend.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, exhausted by the end of the day.
I was pretty tired on Monday.
Yeah, we were too.
I think I just read pretty much all day long.
Yeah, I don't think I did much of anything on Monday.
Yeah,
She had to go to work though.
I know. Here she is. Somebody in Jamestown, they had this Airedale and it passed away, and they got a puppy, and the puppy has ran away. It's got its leash hanging off of it, and
Oh,
nobody can find it, and it's been gone like 2 nights now.
no.
Oh no, that's somebody in Jamestown?
Yeah.
Oh,
You remember that Airedale that's like near the park?
yeah.
That dog passed away, and then they got another Airedale puppy, and it took off.
Oh my gosh.
That's awful.
Oh my
It
gosh.
was like, gosh,
Is that the pit
not-
people with the kids? The little girl?
uh-uh.
No. Oh,
It's not a good place for a puppy at night.
oh my gosh.
Well, but trailing a leash too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you could totally get hung up. Can't
Yeah.
Right.
attack.
Oh man.
Poor thing.
Yeah.
Sad.
Yeah, not knowing where your pet is awful.
Oh.
Yeah. A lot of people have been out looking for the little thing. I think somebody saw it on the other side.
Oh my gosh.
And-
How old was the puppy?
I don't know. It's pretty big.
Somebody might have picked it up.
Let's hopefully.
I mean, to keep, but
Yeah.
even that would be better than it being out there lost.
Yeah.
Totally.
Right.
Get eaten.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're getting more and more people.
Good
Morning.
morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
I have my screen adjusted just right for when we're doing yoga, and then I want to change it when we're like sitting here talking. So I
Yeah.
have to be like, do not move anything. Well, it's like, who's Katie?
80s iPhone.
She can't maybe hear us yet.
Morning.
Morning.
I was like, who's Katie? I hope that Jackie gets to figure out the link today.
You didn't figure it out last week?
Yeah, she had some trouble getting on. I'm not sure what happened exactly. I didn't ask her on Wednesday. But hopefully it works. Looks so nice out there, Mom.
It is. It's beautiful. It's like perfect, the perfect temperature. It's like 61. And it just feels so good because it's still got a little bit of the freshness in the air, you know?
Yeah.
It's not just like, oh.
Yeah.
I know. Wait till this summer and y'all will be like, oh, it's so nice in Jamestown.
Like, I wish I was in Jamestown.
Oh, man.
I've been digging irises this morning. I'm going to send Alyssa some irises for her birthday.
Oh, I didn't know you meant send some from the pond. That's cool. Yeah. Fun.
So I've got yellow and the purple or blue or whatever, and then some of the crimson.
Ooh.
I like those.
Yeah.
So how are you going to send them?
I'm just going to wrap them, like just clip the roots and then wrap them in moist paper towels and just stick them in a box. Priority.
Yeah.
I think they'll be okay, don't you?
Yeah.
I might wrap cardboard around the upper part.
Sometimes people leave them out in the sun. Before they put them back in the ground. I mean, it's not prime time, but
yeah,
I think it'll be fine.
Yeah, I think so too.
Well, I'll just have to look out for other people. Oh, there's somebody. There. Okay. There's Asia. Let me look at my phone and make sure so no one's messaging me. Oh, there she is. Who are we missing? Caitlin?
Caitlin and Liz, I guess.
Maybe they're together.
Probably. Liz messaged me early this morning and asked if it was 9 or 10, and when I told her 10, she said, good, I wasn't going to make 9, but she knows. She's got it.
Oh, man, that's funny. Okay, well, I'll look out for them. They'll be on eventually, and then if I see them, I'll admit them. I could get caught up, though. Okay, so we're gonna start a little different. We're gonna start on our backs this morning, and then we'll get moving, and then we'll go back onto our backs. So let's go.
No more. Go see Daddy.
Okay. So we're gonna start lying down. I've got my soles of my feet on the floor. My knees are bent. You may wiggle around a little bit, like really wiggle your back into the floor. Let your head rock from side to side. Lengthen the back of the neck and loosen up the sides of your neck and your jaw. And then just give yourself a little head massage. Run your fingers through your hair. So that you feel the skin of your head starting to relax. And then rub the palms together, let your hands get warm. And then bring your warm hands to your face and let your face relax. The skin of your face starts to melt and soften, your eyes. Release the jaw.
Oh.
Release where your face is meeting your neck and the sides of your neck. And you could even warm up your hands again and let your hands come to your neck and just soften the neck where it meets the shoulders. Soften across the front of your chest. And then you can let your hands rest wherever they're comfortable. Just take a few big breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. And then you can let your body just come back to the normal breath, letting your breath start to deepen and the diaphragm starts to descend a little into your belly, so your belly gets bigger as you breathe and then falls as you exhale. Noticing any places in your body that feel a little tense today. And we did a lot of stuff yesterday. If you were part of that, you may feel a lot of tension in your back or your neck. And so just take a moment and give those areas of your body a little attention. And let's try to keep this sense of attention and relaxation as we start to change positions. And the first position is going to be bringing our right ankle on top of the left thigh for figure 4. And you can wiggle a little bit if you feel tension, and if you don't, you can just let the leg hang out for a second. You're breathing, your breath is full and easy. When you feel your hips are ready, maybe you lift the left leg and you could even catch behind your left thigh with the hands. And again, if you're feeling tension, you can wiggle. If it feels okay, maybe you stay and you just breathe into the space of the hips and the legs. You let the back body, the back ribs be heavy on the floor. I'm going to start to straighten my left leg just a little bit because I want to feel it a little more in my right hip. Shh. Hey, you guys, stick with it. Come on, let's go. They have a thing with the squirrels. Let's go. Okay, so let's hold on now with our hands to the right hand on the right knee, left hand on your left foot, and keep the right leg lifted, bring the left foot to the floor. So now I'm holding on, and you can pull this leg as far away or as close to you as feels right. Breathing into the places that feel sensational, wiggling if you feel tension coming into your body,
If you want to increase the stretch, you can stretch the left leg long or however long is right for you. Big breath into the pelvis. Really paying attention to what you're feeling. Finding the edge. So it's sensation, but it's not aggressive. It's not painful. Now we're going to bring the right foot on top of our left thigh, right knee pointing to the sky. Open the arms up to a T, and then let the right knee move over to the left side. You can even kind of roll onto the outer edge of the left hip. If you've got a blanket or a block and you want to put it underneath your knee for a little support, that would feel good. You're breathing. You can look up. You can look to the right hand. Remembering that relaxation and attention that we started with, trying to find that again every time we get into a new shape. Let's slowly, gently roll back onto our backs, coming back to this starting position of knees bent, soles of the feet on the floor. And we're going to switch to the other side. So I have soft skin, and then I'm going to bring my left ankle on top of the right thigh. I want to hang out here, take a few breaths, let my legs and my hips adjust. I'm going to let the back of my neck lengthen. I'm moving my head so I can release any tension in my neck. When you feel ready, lift the right leg. So you're drawing the legs in towards the chest. You could reach through and grab your right thigh. Big breaths into the space of your hips, noticing where you're feeling this the most. Remembering you can always just release tension with a little wiggle or intensify by straightening the leg. Back ribs soft on the floor, shoulders relaxed. I have a little action in my feet, so my knees are protected, my knees are safe. And then take your right hand to your right foot, left hand to the knee, holding the leg. Bring your right foot back down to the floor. So I've still got this left leg lifted, drawing it in towards my heart, or you can let it move away, whatever feels right for your body. Keeping the right leg bent or straightening it any amount to intensify the stretch. Have my feet are active, the soles of my feet are open, back of my body is soft on the floor. And then releasing, left foot to the top of the right thigh, arms out to a T. Let the left knee move over to the right for a twist. You can scooch onto your right outer hip, if that feels good. Looking in the direction that's right for your neck so you can stay soft where the neck and the shoulders meet. Remember, you could prop under your knee if you're not feeling comfortable. Every inhale breath, feel your spine getting longer. And then as you exhale, release a little more, letting gravity kind of pull you into your twist. Again, gently unraveling, coming back to the starting position. Knees bent, soles of the feet on the floor. Maybe you lift up your pelvis and you kind of wiggle it around, let it come back to neutral, set it back down on the floor. From there, let's lift both feet, knees over hips. I'm going to stack my right knee on top of my left. Keeping my feet higher than my knees, reach up and grab the shins. I've got my feet flexed, action in the feet, and then head and shoulders resting on the mat, drawing the shin towards the armpits, rooting the tailbone back down in opposition towards the floor. Noticing what's happening, where you feel it or where you don't. Letting the breath be big, directing it towards your right hip. Back ribs soft, face soft. And then releasing the hands, let the legs open wide into the splits. And you can keep a little action in the feet. You can have a little bend in the knees. Let gravity kind of pull on your legs. Your abdominals are still engaged here, so you're really supporting yourself. And then we're switching sides. Let's take left knee on top of right. Is that right? The opposite of what you just did. And then keeping the feet higher than the knees, reach up, grab the shins. Rooting the tailbone down into the floor, start to gently hug, shins back towards the armpits. Big breath now into the left hip. Noticing where you're feeling it the most, directing your breath into those places in the body. And then unraveling again. Feet go wide, kind of into the big splits. And then hugging the knees into the chest, curling up into a tiny little ball. Forehead and knees come towards one another. Maybe they even touch and you're really tight. And then shoulders and head relax back onto the mat. We're going to roll to one side. And we're going to come on to our hands and knees. And as you come onto your hands and knees, just wake up your body a little bit. Wiggle. Maybe you take a big exhale out of the mouth. Bringing the knees under the hips and the hands under the shoulders. We're just going to start to bring some gentle movement into the shoulders,
by bringing shoulder blades together behind the back, and I'm letting my heart kind of sink, and then pushing the floor away, broadening the shoulders. So it kind of feels like you're doing a little bit of a cat-cow without moving the pelvis. I'm letting the shoulder blades come together, and then I'm pushing the floor away, moving the shoulder blades apart. So just explore a few on your own. It's like you're sinking your heart down to the floor, and then you're lifting your heart up to the sky. You can link your breath and your movement. Oh, here's some people. And then let's come to the kind of neutral position. So you're in a neutral position, and then you're gonna just let your arm bones wiggle in and out. I'm rotating my arms in and out, elbows in, elbows out. Just kind of loosening up my arms. From there, curl your toes under, toes curled under. We're gonna sit back onto the hips. I'll get all my toes to curl. And then with the hands on the thighs, let's lift the shoulders up to the ears and then release. Lift and release. And you can just go with your own breath. You can let it be a little bit quick. And then we'll release, uncurling the toes, coming to sit on our heels. And you could always put your block or your blanket or your cushion there. And then take the arms out wide, and we're gonna go thumbs up and thumbs down. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Just a few more of these. Letting the shoulder blades move. And then we'll release, and let's come forward, standing on our knees. So let's take the hands out wide, palms facing up. Bring the right arm forward, and then bring the left elbow inside of the right. And then let's hug ourselves and give ourselves a big hug. And I'm pulling my shoulder blades apart as I'm giving myself this big hug. And you could stay just like this, or you can bring the hands together, kind of like an eagle pose. Bring the hands towards one another. If the hands get close, you can hold on. From here, I'm gonna push my elbows away. And I'm spreading my shoulder blades apart, maybe lifting the elbows towards the sky, softening where my neck and shoulders meet. And then gently unravel the arms, open them up big to the sides. And then switching sides, right arm on top, giving yourself a big hug. Pulling the shoulder blades apart behind your back. And you can stay just like that, or you can bring the hands towards one another, maybe catching the palms.
You take the elbows and you move them away from your heart and then up to the sky, soft neck. And then again, we're unraveling and we're taking our arms out to the side. And this time kind of like a cactus. My elbows are bent. Your hands don't have to be too close in. They can be out. And we're just going to do a little bit. So I'm going to lift my belly. So I'm really protecting my back. And then I'm going to look up at the sky and I'm going to lift my heart up to the sky. And then I'm going to look down at the ground and I'm going to bring my chin to my chest. So I'm going to look up, I'm going to lift my heart, I'm going to look down, I'm going to bring my chin to my chest. Couple more, belly lifting. And then release and let the arms shake. And let the hips press back to the heels for a child's pose. Folding forward over the legs, letting the forehead come towards the floor. And then bring your hands right beside your knees in your child's pose. So you're in child's pose and you have your hands right beside your knees. And then you're gonna push your palms forward on the floor without letting them move so that you curl your back, tiny, tiny little ball, nose towards knees. I'm pushing the floor away and I'm curling up into this tiny, tiny little ball. Oh, and then relaxing and letting the arms come alongside the body, shoulders relax, everything relaxes. Big breaths. Now let's start to make our way back to downward facing dog. And you can kind of take your time getting there. Wiggle, walk out the legs, release your head. Kind of be lazy. A Sunday morning down dog. And then finding a nice position so that you can kind of press the weight back into the legs, let your body stretch out long in your down dog, belly lifted firmly, head totally relaxed. Couple of breaths like this. Soles of the feet open, retracting the arches of the feet back up the inner line of the legs. And then walking the feet forward to the hands. Let's bring our feet hips distance. Have a lot of space that I'm gonna let my belly fold in between my thighs. Got a bend in my knees. My hands are touching something, the floor or my legs, so that I'm keeping all of my energy here together. Head released. Big giant breaths up and down the back of your body. Maybe letting the weight shift forward and back.
And then let the hips sink. The belly and the thighs are gonna stay connected, and you're dropping your behind and you're reaching your hands forward and stretching from your tail to your fingers, pushing your feet into the floor. You feel your hips and your behind get a little bigger. And then press through the legs, come all the way up to standing. And your legs are burning, so you're gonna just bounce a little bit, release the tension from the legs. Then let's bring the feet so that the feet are pretty close together. Mountain pose. Let the weight sink down into your feet. Really feeling the connection where your feet are meeting the floor. I'm imagining that I'm standing out in the grass. Let the skin of the chest get light and lift. And the back of the neck is long. On the next inhale, hands to the sky. Exhale, hinging from the hips, half forward fold, arms out to a T. Let's just take an inhale, lengthen, firming the belly, and then exhale, folding over, soft legs. Relaxing, tailbone down just a little bit, chair pose. Inhale, hands to the sky. And we're gonna stay for a second, shifting weight back into the heels, letting the belly lift. You can have the arms out wide or close, whatever feels the best. And then let's stand up all the way. Bring the elbows wide like those cactus arms we did before. And inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, mountain pose. So we're gonna do it a couple times like that. Inhaling, reaching up. Exhale, halfway. Taking an inhale here so you feel long and strong. And then exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose. Staying, hips sinking. And then reaching all the way up. A big inhale, letting the elbows bend and the heart lift. Exhale, mountain pose. Let's take a couple of breaths. And then inhale to reach up. Exhale, halfway. Inhale, getting long. Exhale, soft fold. Inhale, chair pose, reaching up. Sinking the weight back into the heels, rooting through the feet, and then inhale to rise, that little back bend, heart lifts. Exhale, Tadasana, mountain pose. Last one, inhale to reach. Exhale, halfway. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to fold. Inhale, chair. Exhale, back into the heels. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, mountain. A big inhale to reach. And then exhale, let's fold all the way. An active fold. My legs are
engaged. My feet are rooting. My belly is lifting. Take an inhale. Lift halfway. Just let the back body lengthen. And then step the right foot back into a big lunge. Let's sink the back knee down. So we're coming into a low lunge on the knee. You can have your toes curled under or your toes pointing. And then we're gonna come up to lifted, and we're mashing the front foot down into the floor, hugging the thighs together, lifting the pit of the belly. And then let's just take the arms out wide, kind of like a Y. Heart open, arms wide, really tugging the ribs and the lower shoulder blades in towards the midline, letting the tops of the shoulders be big and relaxed. Keep rooting the front foot into the floor, letting the belly and the heart lift. Lengthening the back of your neck. And then unravel, hands to the floor. Right hand is going to come down right under your right shoulder. Left hand is going to reach forward. We're going to reach and lengthen forward, and then heel the left hand up towards the sky. I'm still mashing my front foot into the floor, lifting my belly, letting the ribs kind of rotate around the spine. And then let's take a big inhale, get long. A big exhale, unraveling. Stepping the left knee back to meet the right in a modified plank pose.
Ouch.
We're going to lower all the way down to the belly. Bringing the hands under your forehead so you have a little room to breathe. Now, let's bring the legs close together. Let the thigh bones roll in a little bit, lengthening out of our big toes. And then keeping our forehead on the hands, just let your right big toe reach back and lift up a little bit. It doesn't have to lift up very high. I feel my hips, both hips, equally rooting down into the floor as I lift the right leg and lengthen the right leg out of my big toe. Breathing. Lengthening, maybe a little more of a lift, and then release. So let's do the other side. Forehead is on the hands. I've got my leg bones hugging in, lengthening the big toe of the left foot away. It gets long and then starts to lift up. I'm rooting both sides of my hips down into the floor as I lengthen and gently lift the left leg. Keep hugging into the midline, lengthening out. Maybe lifting just a little bit more, and then we release. Let the hands come alongside the body, and your hands are pressing down. And you can lift your head, kind of look towards the front edge of your mat, but your heart's still on the floor. And then we're going to lift up our feet, and we're just going to start to do some tiny kicks like we're swimming in the ocean. Little kicks, long legs, swimming. You can root your hands into the floor so that your heart has got a little support with the hands, and you're just doing little tiny kicks. You're still breathing. And then we're going to release everything down. Using the hands, we press back through the knees to child's pose. Oh, a big child's pose. Walking your hands towards your knees so you can push yourself into that tiny little child's pose ball. You're rounding, your nose is coming towards your knees. And then you release and relax. Just a resting child's pose. Take the hands forward. You make your way into a downward dog. And it's still a Sunday down dog. You're kind of wiggling the legs, letting both side bodies stretch. And then let's walk the feet forward to the hands. Forward fold. Take an inhale, lift halfway. And then exhale, left leg steps back into a big lunge. And I'm letting my knee come down to the floor. Back toes could be curled under, or they can be pointed. From there, let's rise, mashing the front foot down, squeezing the thighs together. Taking the arms up to that big Y. You're holding a giant beach ball over your head. And I'm lifting my belly and I'm lifting my heart. And I'm stomping my front foot down into the floor. And you can let the front hip open a little bit, right? Let the front hip open. Let that opening start to rise up the length of the belly into the chest. Hugging arm muscles into the bones as you reach out through the fingers. And then let's unravel. Hands come to the floor. Left hand's gonna stay under my left shoulder. Right hand's gonna reach forward. I'm stretching my right side long and then stomping your right foot down into the floor. Hugging the belly in and up. And then we're unraveling, stepping the right knee back to our modified plank pose. Top of a push-up. And then slowly lowering all the way down. Let's bring arms alongside the body. Let the leg bones come in close, lengthen the big toes away. And then take a big inhale, lifting from the pit of the belly. Start to pick up the legs, the arms, the heart, lifting everything. Big breaths. Squeezing into the midline, getting long, and then lifting up. And then let's relax. You could wiggle your behind a little if you feel tension in your lower back. Feel your breath, notice your heartbeat. And then we're gonna do it again. So we're bringing the legs close, taking an inhale, get long. Taking an exhale, lifting the belly. And then inhale, lifting everything up. If you're getting tense, Move around a little bit. Nobody said you can't do the pose, and move. Breathing, wiggling, and then releasing. I'm going to do it one more time. This time, maybe, you don't have to do this, but if you want, you can take the arms and reach them way out in front. Take a big inhale, getting long. Exhale, lifting the belly, and then inhaling to rise. Big breaths. Inhale, hugging in. Exhale. And then releasing, using your hands to press your way back to child's pose. Take 2 more big breaths into the space of the back body, your kidneys and your sacrum. If you like walking the hands back to the knees and making that little tiny ball, if that felt good to you, you could walk the hands back and do a little ball in your child's pose, bringing your knee close to your nose. And then bringing the hands forward, let's find our way to hands and knees. Hands and knees, and then taking the right hand, let's reach right hand up to the sky. Thread the right hand underneath, coming to rest on your right shoulder for a twist. And you can stretch this other arm out long, or you could bring it behind your back, whatever feels good to you. Let the left side body lengthen. Keep lifting the belly so your back is protected. And then let's unravel back to hands and knees. And we're going to switch sides. Left hand reaches up. We make a big, long space. And then threading it underneath, coming to rest on the shoulder. And then your version, you could do it any way you like. Stretch out long, take it behind your back. Feel the right side body getting longer and longer. Even if you can't feel it, just pretend. Fake it till you make it.
Oh man, you've been there so long. Unraveling. Let's come back to hands and knees. I lost my internet service and y'all didn't even know it. Okay, back to the hands and the knees. And then let's just wiggle the hips from side to side. So taking the hips from one side to the other side, one side to the other side. And then curl the toes under and lift it back to downward facing dog. And this time, find a still down dog. So your feet are hips distance, they're action packed, your fingers are wide, they're action packed. And then you're taking your heart back towards your legs, whatever amount you can. You can have that little bend in the knees. Let the head go. Let your neck drop out of your shoulders, kind of like a turtle reaching his head out of the shell. Hugging the upper arm bones together. And then walking the feet forward, all the way back up to the hands. Let's bend the right knee. So your right knee and your belly, they get really close together. And then walk your fingertips over towards the right side. So they're kind of out on the right side. And you can let your hips shift over to the left. You stretch open that left hip. And then we're going to do it the other way. We're going to walk the fingertips back to center. Bend the left knee, belly and thigh coming together, and walk the fingertips towards the left. And then releasing back to center, big toes coming together. Sink the hips a little bit lower and lift the hands. One more chair pose. We're in our chair pose. I'm going to reach my left hand forward and I'm going to reach my right hand back, and I'm doing a little twist in my chair pose. Drawing the weight back into my heels, hugging my legs together, and then switching sides. Take the right hand forward, sweep the left hand back, and it's burning and I want to give up, but I'm not going to. Reaching, and then all the way up to standing. I'm going to brush off my legs because they're so tired. Now, let's do a little balancing. To start, tree pose. I've got my big toes pretty close, so my balance is already easier. You can look down, you can look up, but set your gaze. Take a couple big breaths. Neck and shoulders relax, face relaxes. Let the tension of chair pose go. And then your version of tree pose. Let's lift the right foot first. And you can keep it on the floor. You can raise it up to the calf, to the thigh, doing whatever feels the best for you. Arms any way you like. Coming back to the attention and that sense of relaxation that we had when we were laying on the floor. See if you can find it here in your tree pose. Even if you're wiggling around and you have bad balance, see if you can soften your skin and soften your face and your eyes. Let's take 5 more breaths. We're just sticking with this tree. And then we'll unravel, curling back down. And I'm going to shake out any tension that I have. Maybe I need to wiggle my ankle that I was standing on. And then let's do the other side. So I'm finding mountain pose, have good posture, and I'm setting my gaze so I'm focused. And then finding your version of the pose, whatever whatever you want to do today. And getting that attitude of paying attention, but being relaxed about it. You don't care if you're wobbly or if you're still. And let the breath start to move under your skin. Big, full breaths. Three more. And then we are unfurling, shaking out any tension, stepping the feet just a little bit wide, and then letting yourself twist. Kind of like I have some weights in my hands. They're really heavy, and they're pulling me wider and wider. And then we'll slow our twisting all the way to a stop. And come onto the knees. And this is our last active little thing here before we start to wind down. But we're gonna do a camel pose. And if you need to pad under your knees, you may want to sit on or stand on your blanket. Put your knees on your blanket if your floor is hard. So let's start with our cactus arms. So we have our cactus arms, and then I'm going to go sideways. So I want you to be able to see me. And actually, I'm changed my mind. Let's start with the hands on the hip. I have my hands on my hips. And we're going to take the hips back and forward. And we're just kind of loosening up our pelvis. And we're getting it so it knows what we're doing. Getting it in line. Back and forward. And you can start to kind of let the thigh bones roll in. You feel what opening the hip crease feels like. And then let's come back to standing, and we take our arms. We're gonna really stretch the hip crease forward. So I'm really stretch the hip crease forward. My leg bones are rolling in. I'm lifting my belly. Lift, lift, lift up to the sky. You can even stretch your arms up to the sky. And then let it all roll down the back. Shoulders drop away from the ears. My heart is still lifted, but my shoulders are lowering. And I have to really push my feet into the floor and lift my heart up. Rooting feet into the floor, lifting the heart up. And then let's ease out, stretching up, chin to chest, sitting down. A lot of work. Let's take a couple of breaths. So we're going to do it one more time since we've come this far. So last one, we're standing on the knees. This time, let's take the hands to the hips. You could do any arrangement you like on your hips. Hug, leg bones together. Hug the leg bones together, stomp your feet into the floor. Lengthen the front body from kneecaps all the way up to armpits. Get really long, really long. Maybe you squeeze your elbows behind your back and you get even longer. And then you let it all drop down the back. Shoulders rolling towards the floor.
Keep the back of your neck long. Your head is relaxed. No tension in the jaw. Big breaths. Belly moving all the way up into the space of the heart. And then we unravel chin to chest. Heart lifts. Come to sitting on your behind. Actually, wait. Let's come to a plank. Top of a push-up. Big, long plank. Front of the body getting so long. Really engage your abdominals. That's why we're doing this. Since we got our back and our abdominals really loose. And now we want to restabilize. So squeeze abdominals, squeeze glutes, lengthen the belly. And then let's come to seated on our behind. Whew. Take your feet wide. My knees are bent, my feet are wide. And then let your body fold forward between your thighs. And you could prop, if you had a bolster, it would be a great time to use it under your belly. You could prop your forehead on it. And we're just kind of hanging forward, letting the back body get long. We shortened it up, and now we're letting it loosen up. So big breaths into the space between your ribs, into the space of your pelvis, your back, between the shoulder blades, at the base of the skull. Big breaths. We're going to stay here just a little longer. Keep breathing. Just noticing what you're feeling. And then let's unravel our way up. We're going to lift our chest and stretch out the legs. And you can even wiggle a little bit. Wiggle and move your legs and your feet. Get the flesh out from underneath your sits bones so you can really sit up tall. And in staff pose, legs straight out, shoulders over hips. Sitting, and I'm going to really engage my legs. And I'm going to pull my toes back towards me, maybe even let the heels lift off the floor, really lift the belly, and sitting here in this strong position for a few minutes. Not minutes, a few breaths. And then same action. Let's take a hinge at the hips. Belly button moves forward over the thighs. So I've still got this curve in my lower back and a lot of length. And you can even let your knees bend a little. But I'm really lengthening my belly, my navel over my thighs towards my knees. A little action in the back body so that your chest stays open. And then let's release some of the work and let's soften over the legs, letting the back round, letting the head release. You can prop in any way that you want, a bolster under your belly. You can put your head on your hands. Just softening and letting the back body relax any contraction and get longer. Now let's slowly lift the chest back up. And we're still sitting up tall, but we're going to bring the right foot in. And so you can have your right foot by your knee, or you can have your right foot all the way in close to your hips. You kind of have to explore how it feels for you. But let's start by hugging the knee into the chest and then using that grip to sit up really tall, letting your shoulders depress, your neck get long, your chest get bright. And then keep the leg, keep it hugged in, keep the back long. Take your hands, walk your hands down your straight leg, however far they go. May not go far at all. If you had a strap, you could catch your toes with your strap. You could create a little pull that way. And I'm hugging my knee in to my ribs. That bent knee is hugged into my side, and I'm pulling my heart towards my toes and my toes towards my heart. We're going to take 2 more breaths. And then keeping the knee bent, release, come back up to seated. Left hand's going to come onto the knee. Right hand's going to reach up to the sky. Big inhale, reach up. And then a big exhale, take the right fingertips behind you for a little twist. So I'm kind of pulling the right knee forward, pulling the right shoulder back, stomping my right hip, my right sits bones down into the floor so I can lengthen up the right side body. And let's gently unwind. Start from the head, the heart, then the belly. Take both legs out long. We're bending the left knee, bringing the left knee in. And remember, it can be out here by the knee or it can be in close to the hips. I'm going to wrap my arms around and then sit up really tall. Action-packed here, hugging everything into the middle of the body. And then walking your arms down your straight leg, however far they go, kind of trying to keep that length. Squeezing your knee into your side, reaching your heart towards your toes, taking the toes towards the heart. And then releasing, coming to seated so we can do the twist. Taking your right hand to your knee. Left arm reaches up. Big inhale, get long from left sits bone to fingers. And then exhale, twist. Bring the hand to the floor. Let the left side body get really long. Big inhale and it gets long. And then exhale and twist. And then we unravel, chin, heart, belly, pull both knees in, give both knees a little squeeze. We'll find the weight a little behind the tail so you can lift your feet for a boat pose. And I'm getting long across the front of my chest and my feet are lifted. And your choice, right? Any variation of this you like. So you can hold on, you can stretch it up, you can straighten the legs or just the arms, whatever you do. And then heart lifts, maybe you look up to the sky, breathing. And then let's release, and we'll make our way onto our backs. So maybe you have to scooch a little bit. Okay. Coming onto the back. Just take a pause. Few big breaths into the space of your belly. And then let's lift the right leg. And we're gonna turn the right knee out to the side. So, so right knee's pointing out to the side. There's a little bend in the knee. And then I'm gonna let the left leg bend, and I'm not gonna turn it out to the side. I'm just gonna keep it straight. You can even hold on to it. You can hold on to both legs. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna hold on to this leg and this leg with my hands. And then I'm gonna slowly straighten the right leg out just a little bit. And then a big breath. The right leg and hip. And then we're gonna release this side and we're gonna switch. So we're gonna take the left knee out to the side. Right knee in. I'm gonna hold on. Left hand behind the left thigh, right hand on my right knee. I've got action in my feet. And then I'm gonna slowly straighten the left leg just a little bit till I feel the sensation, and then breathing into that. Back ribs soft on the floor. They're not lifting up. And then let's release, and we're gonna take both legs straight up to the sky. They don't have to be totally straight, but if you can straighten them, that would be best. Feet over hips, just like you had a wall behind you. And we're breathing. I've got the soles of my feet big and wide. And then let your knees bend, but the feet are still lifted. Hands on the outside of the knees, and we're gonna push the hands into the knees, and we're gonna push the knees back out into the hands so nothing's moving, but you're working really hard and you're maybe even shaking. And then we're gonna take 2 fists inside of the knees. 2 fists inside, and we're gonna squeeze, squeeze, squeeze the knees into the hands. And release, drawing the knees into your heart. One last time, curling forehead up to knees. Relaxing head and shoulders down onto the mat. Let the soles of the feet come down. And we're gonna just walk the feet out a little bit wider. Let the knees knock in. Soften up your belly. Just letting yourself breathe full, big breaths into the space of your belly. Maybe you move the head a little bit from left to right, letting tension go from your neck, from the base of the skull, from your jaw. And then letting the feet walk back in, finding your way to resting. So, oh, it would feel fabulous to do legs up the wall or legs on the couch if you had that available, or legs up the column. You could also prop a bolster underneath your knees. You know all those different options. So finding your favorite one.
No, I was still talking to you upside down. And as you get into the position, yeah, cover your eyes if you have something. Really take the time to get comfortable. And go through that squeeze and release. Let's kind of squeeze your muscles, especially anywhere you feel tension, and then let them go so that you really feel what it feels like to be relaxed. And you let yourself be relaxed. Kind of just become a puddle on the floor.
Rest in natural great peace. This exhausted mind, beaten helplessly by karma and neurotic thoughts, like the relentless fury of the pounding waves in the infinite ocean of samsara. Rest in natural great peace. Rest in natural great peace. But sometimes it's wonderful when you really remember what the masters have done and taught. It immediately moves us. It really inspires, connects us. Therefore, we feel a sense of gratitude and appreciation of their work. So, using Rinpoche in this wonderful poem, he says, rest in natural great peace. This exhausted mind, beaten helplessly by karma and neurotic thoughts, like the relentless fury of the pounding waves in the infinite ocean of samsara. Rest in natural great peace. Rest in natural. In Tibetan is Rangi Shwachak. Rest in natural great peace. This exhausted mind, beaten helplessly by karma and neurotic thoughts, like the relentless fury of the pounding waves in the infinite ocean of samsara. Rest in natural. To rest. To find rest. Clear? just really finding that rest, the comfort and ease to just let go and just to just naturally be. Then you see the mind just quietly settle, just like a glass of muddy water. If you don't stir it, the dirt will slowly settle. In the same manner, if you let the mind be in the spacious openness, slowly the confusion of the turbulence of thought and motion settles. The rest in natural peace. The rest in natural peace. This exhausted mind, beaten helplessly backward, and neurotic thoughts, like the relentless fury of the bounding waves in the infinite ocean of samsara. Rest in natural, to rest, to find rest. Clear?
Gently start to bring some awareness into your body, and you don't have to move yet. Just feel how your body's feeling, what's happening inside of your body, what it feels like to breathe. Is your breath full, equal in both nostrils? Just kind of noticing, staying in your bubble for just a second, only paying attention to yourself. And then as you naturally feel like moving, or you can start to move, or maybe you want to curl up into the fetal position on one side, just kind of listening to what your body needs today and doing that as you start to make your way up to seated. You're not rushing, you're doing all the things you need. And as you're finding your seat, you're just finding a seat that feels a little bit regal. You have integrity and dignity in your posture. And you have a little sweetness in your face and across the front of your heart. And then I'm going to bring my hands to my heart, but you could do whatever you want with your hands. And just going to spend a couple of moments thinking about everything that I can think of that I'm grateful for. And so maybe you want to do that too, just letting it kind of run like a gratitude reel through your mind. And then I'm bringing the palms together and I'm looking at you because I am grateful for you. Thank you so much for showing up this morning and doing yoga with me. Namaste.
Same to you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Courtney.
Thank you. Great to see you.
That was awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Fabulous.
Courtney. That was wonderful.
That was wonderful.
Awesome. Okay, so we're meeting back at 2:30 your time? Is that right? Is
Sure.
that 2 hours?
It's 11:30.
Oh, so 1:30 your time. Okay. See you at 1:30.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jan. So good to see you again.
Yeah. See you soon.
Bye.